Good morning. Let's get into it. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm back. It's Freedom Friday. You know what time it is. I'm pretty excited about today. Y'all know I'm excited about most of the Freedom Fridays. You know, some of them hit a little right and they get a little, but I'm excited about this one. So do me a solid. Hello, newly appointed missions president Jasmine Curry. I think whatever it was, I'm sure you're gonna do an amazing job. Good morning. Hey, Karan, how you do? Hey, my sister Tina. I'm so excited, you guys. Let's get into today. Now, y'all know what this background mean, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, if you don't know, I might send you a gift if you can figure it out. Inbox me and tell me what the background means. But anyway, y'all know what we do. Say good morning in the chat there. I'm gonna say good morning and we're gonna get into it. So I have missed doing Freedom Friday. I have been gone a couple weeks. And don't get me wrong, I love my away time. I needed to do some wellness stuff, needed to make some appointments. And yes, I'm fine, but I'm just doing some preventative care. So I had to do my thing and check my self out, get all my parts and pieces, and make sure everything that was supposed to be working was working, and everything that ain't, child, whatever. So anyway, good morning. Well, thank you, ma'am. I'm so glad to have y'all here. So let's get into today. I just got back from an amazing trip with my sister. Hello, Dr. V, and my nephews and my brothers and my big sister. And oh my God, just had an amazing time with my family. Hi, Carolyn. Good to see you. Had a wonderful time with my family. It was everything. I made a special trip just for nieces and nephews, as many as I could see. Couldn't see them all, but just had a good time. Hey, Dutch. So I'm back. And y'all, let me tell y'all, I knew it was not going to be great weather, but I didn't know I was going to go to Texas and be cold. Had not planned on it. So I get back here, it's cold there. I get back here, it's cold. Y'all, it was 2 degrees the other day. Two of them. Child, what am I supposed to do in 2 degree weather? Honey, can't do it. So let me ask you a question to get us started today. What did you do on the coldest day? Whether you live in Colorado or somewhere else and it got really cold, like what's your go-to plan on a cold day? Now, me, I'm just gonna tell you, I woke up. Well, no, that's not what happened. I went to bed and I already knew I didn't want to go nowhere the next day. Yeah. So the night before the coldest day, I called in. I did. I said, listen, I'm not gonna be able to do that. And I didn't. Stay inside. Hello. And that's what I did. I stayed at my house that whole day. Now, the day got better and it got nicer outside and things weren't that bad. But, child, I had already made a decision about what I was going to do in the cold. So I stayed inside. Um, but then I got myself together, and realized that, okay, it's cold outside. I live in Colorado. Like, what did I think it was going to be? I live in Colorado. So let's get into today's topic. I went to bed the other night and I was thinking about this season of my life. Woke up aching. Child, let me tell you. Ooh, Grey's Anatomy. Hello. Hot chocolate. Since we were fasting. So you had hot water? Yeah. No tea bag. Baby, I understand. Sit back and relax on the cold days. Yes. Listen, I went to bed the other night and four words jumped in my head. I was getting ready to pray before it was time to sleep, and these four words jumped in my head. And the four words were 5 words. The 5 words were, I can do hard things. And I was thinking about, like I said, the season in my life. Y'all, I'm 55. My kids are grown. I got grandkids, and just, what life was 20 years ago, it's not right now. Child, it ain't what it was 5 years ago, if we just want to get real technical about it. And so I was just thinking, and I thought, I can do hard things. And that was the last thing that hit me. I prayed, and I tried to go to bed, but that was it. So today I want to talk to you about doing the hard things. Let's talk about the hard things. Um, I have to say, I cannot decide, or I won't even venture a guess of what your hard thing is. I can't figure that out. You have to figure that out. It's your business. It might even be personal, right? But hard things. Oh, I can do hard things. Why? Why? Because that's one of my questions is, what is I'm doing this for? Like, why do I even have to do the hard things? Why do things have to be so hard? And maybe y'all don't have these conversations with God, but I have said to God, that whole toughest soldier thing, who picked me? Was there a vote? Was my name on a ballot? Did I do something I shouldn't have done, and that got me on the vote? I'm just not sure how I got picked to be one of the toughest soldiers. I'm not that tough. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I'm not. I'm soft with a capital T. I'm so soft. Avon used to have a lotion called Soft. It had like three S's in the front. S's. Yes, that's what I said. S's, plural. And I'm soft. So what is with these hard things? Honey, there was a vote. Who voted? I just need to know who voted. And I need to know, when they voted for me, did they vote us like on a team? Are we all voting together, like we all doing the hard things? Or did they just volunteer me? Because I don't like to be volunteered or voluntold. I'm not a fan of either one of those. So I'm like, okay, God, let's talk about the hard things. Skin so soft, baby. Hey, Tracy, that's what it was. Soft. And some days I'm just not feeling like the hard thing. And I understand. Avon, that's what it was, child. I can remember, I can see it in my head. Child, we had it. We had Timeless, we had Candid, we had Skin So Soft. Let's not even get into Avon. Uh, that's my age. So it is what it is. But talking about the hard things. So today, what I want to talk to you about is, I want to share um, three things about the hard things, and real talk about the emotions. This may be a pep talk. I don't know. It depends on what your hard things are and where you are with dealing with your hard things. But there's some things that I was thinking about last night. I was having a conversation, and I was thinking about the hard things, and I began to jot down some notes. But this morning, I really sat down and focused on them, because I wanted to know, God, what is it that I'm sharing about the hard things? Because right now, in this season of my life, there are some hard things. Um, so let me just talk about three things about it. If you know what I'm talking about, thank you for saying, Tracy, I know the feeling, because I just don't, it just what it is. Don't vote for me. Okay. Number one, I want to talk about, sometimes the hard things that you are facing, that you've been asked to do, maybe that you've even chosen. Sometimes the hard things are not trending. They're not popular. People are not running to tell you, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the unpopular choice. It's the, ooh, if I was you, I wouldn't do that choice. Sometimes that's the hard thing. And we look at that hard thing and we think, like, what are people going to say when I do this? Like, will anybody even understand this hard thing that I'm doing? Sometimes the hard thing is unpopular. And you've got to make a decision. Is it okay for me to deal with this unpopular thing? Or can I still do hard things, even though it's not what most people would do? It's not how most people would handle it. Oh, had a conversation with my sister this morning, and we was like, girl, couldn't be me, child. I could not do that. But there are some things that I've done that I'm sure other people said, couldn't be me. I couldn't do that. Let me throw out one of those hard things. Forgiving somebody that did you so dog dirty. And not only did you forgive them, but you turned around and they became part of your prayer life in a good way. You weren't out here like David talking about smote ye them. May all of your crops have locusts. You wasn't putting biblical stuff on them, right? You wasn't saying, may there be a plague of frogs on your front porch and you can't find no socks or shoes and you got to go out there. You weren't doing stuff like that. Hard things, the unpopular thing, folks saying, child, I would never deal with them again. They can never, they couldn't, you ain't got two words to say to me, but it's an unpopular choice and it's a hard thing, but you have to do the hard thing. I know we don't want to get on this forgiveness. Y'all, I just started the book, Forgiving What You Can't Forget. She don't know me. I need her to mind her doggone raggedy published business. Mind your business and stay out of mine. Okay? I didn't even make it to chapter 1 before I just threw the book and just was like, whatever. Right? Doing the hard things may require you to do something that is unpopular. Sometimes it's easy to do stuff when everybody is patting us on the back and everybody is saying, hey, do this, do that. Yeah, it might be heavy, but you might listen. If you've been appointed for it, more importantly, is understanding where that appointment comes from. Is this God? Hey, Janie, is this God's appointment? Because if God appointed you for this hard thing, he's going to anoint you for the hard thing. And we think when God has anointed us for something that means it's going to be easy. That's not what anointing means. Dr. V, when God anoints you for the thing he's appointed you for, that means he's going to give you the grace to go through it. He's going to give you the grace to do the hard thing. Anointing does not mean, when you go, let me just sidebar right quick. When you go and read the 23rd Psalm and anointeth my head with oil, and you look at it from the perspective of the shepherd anoints the sheep's head with oil because one, oil can repel snakes. That's important. But that doesn't mean you don't still face the snake. Two, the oil, if your head got caught somewhere, the oil could slide that sheep back to the place it's supposed to be in. Amazing properties, I'm trying to tell you. So just because you've been anointed and appointed for something, that doesn't mean it's easy. Doing the hard thing allows me to see God work. Absolutely. But if God is anointing me and I done got my head caught somewhere, or I'm facing down snakes, that doesn't make the anointing doesn't make it easy, and it doesn't change the assignment. Let me come on back. Sometimes doing the hard thing is not the profitable thing. It's not because it's going to make you a lot of money. It's not because it's going to gain you great fame or it's going to get you in this door or that door. It's not because it's profitable in those ways, but it is the most profitable in the way God intends it to profit you. We see profit so very differently than the way God sees profit. And I'm not talking about the prophets. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to profit you, but sometimes we are looking for God to pay us in a way that is not his currency for this assignment. There will be times when he's going to pay us in the currency we're looking for, but there's going to be other times when that's just not the currency he's using, but you still have to do the hard thing. I can't hear nobody praying. God, is you talking to me? You talking to me. If y'all get something out of this today, I want to appreciate you for spending this quality time with me, because right now I'm doing a hard thing. I'm learning about God's currency, Quran. Okay, let me get to number 2. Sometimes the hard thing is doing something that will change every part of your life. And it's a change that you want. It might even be a change that you crave. When I say crave, you can't stop thinking about it. You roll over. I know we fasting, Sister Tracy. So I'm not going to talk about chicken too long. But have you ever had a meal that was so good that at some point you just woke up like, oh, you know what I feel like eating? Y'all, Janie is my witness. Child, I would get up in the middle of the night and fry a pork chop, make some gravy, some rice, and some bread, because I crave that thing. Maybe the hard thing is something that you've craved. It's a change that you are craving, that your heart is crying out for. It's still a hard thing, right? And so even though it's still a hard thing, you still got to deal with those emotions that come along with it. And sometimes those emotions are fear and all of these other parts and pieces, but you can't see how you'll get there. You just know it's where you want to land. You just know that that's where you want to be. But go ahead and do the hard thing. Yeah, it's something that you I know y'all talking about the fast. Y'all ain't talking about y'all know y'all talking about pork chops right now. I see y'all comments rolling in. Crave it. But has there ever been a hard thing that you knew was hard, but you craved it? You knew it was going to be a uphill battle, but you couldn't get rid of the taste in your mouth. You couldn't get rid of the craving for it. You knew it was going to cost you everything, but you still crave the hard thing. Ah, man. We have to understand that two things that are competing and are opposite can exist and work for you at the same time. So you can crave this thing and know that this thing is something you really want. This thing is something you really need, and still have all these other conflicting, battling emotions about it, about the going forth, right? So, the hard thing. Let me get to number 3. And this is where I found myself, y'all, as I begin to evaluate some things. Sometimes God will have you look at you. We see a whole lot and got opinions about a lot of things and a lot of people. And well, why would she do that? I wouldn't have done that. Da 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 da. But sometimes God will just quiet you down, shut your mouth, Delon Patrice. Yeah. Sometimes He gets me by my whole name and shuts me all the way down. And when I get quiet and I get still and I'm not focused on you, He allows me the opportunity to see myself with clarity. Let me get to number 3. Sometimes doing the hard thing is not doing it. That's the hard part. Is there something that is out there and you choose to not do it, and that becomes your hard thing, if that makes sense to you? And so I began to think about some things that I wanted to do and some things that I thought about doing, but the hard thing for me was saying no to those things. That became the hard thing. The hard thing is not doing the thing you thought you were going to do. Not a popular one either. It's hard to say no because you feel like quiet and still. Absolutely. You feel like you have to. You feel like, what happens if I don't do this? You feel like, am I letting people down? Am I letting myself down? Am I missing an opportunity? Blah, 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 blah. And all of those are valid points. Absolutely. However, you've got to figure out which of the hard things is the one you're supposed to be doing. And that's when things get tricky. So then the hard thing becomes saying no. Sometimes it's hard for us to give ourselves permission to change directions. Whether it's relationships, career, church, to jobs, it's to change direction can be such a scary and hard thing to do, right? To give ourselves permission to pass on some things. Yeah, it sounds good, it looks good, but I'm a pass. Yeah, I really kind of want to do that, but I'm a pass. Sometimes the hard thing to do is to choose you. It's going to hurt some people, maybe. That's a possibility. But sometimes the hard thing is to choose what is right, what is best, what is ordained, what is anointed, what is appointed, what God has graced you for, as opposed to your will. Ugh. That don't even taste good. But as opposed to, hey there, as opposed to your will, God will put you in a position where you have to change. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to say no over there, yes over here. Sometimes you have to say yes to yourself. It's the hard thing. But can you do that? Can you make that decision? Sometimes, if we're honest, and now y'all allow me to be, I told y'all real talk. It can feel like selfishness. It can feel like You're going back on something, you're conflicting. It can feel like all of those things. And do you still make the hard choice? Like, what do you do when those emotions come up? Because, see, we're real good with the other emotions. When we feel vindicated, validated, we feel acceptance. I'm trying to get my little piece of paper here together. This one kind of messed me up today. Like my hands were shaking when I was writing, and I was like, I know, God, I hear you. I hear you. How do you deal with those feelings, all those emotions that are involved with the hard thing? Of course, we love the accomplishment. Y'all listen, tell me I can't do something. You ain't got long before I did it. Cause I'm like, I can't. Like as in not capable, can't as in not allowed to, can't as in what kind of can't are you talking about? I'm very big on talking to myself about, oh yeah, I can do that. And proving things to myself and reinforcing things to myself, not necessarily to people, but I have done that too. I have had people tell me what I could and could not do or be. And I was like, yeah, right. Eyebrow and everything, wait on me. But sometimes, we're so excited about that feeling of accomplishment. Yes, I did it. And yes, and praise and all of those things. And they are valuable. Sometimes we need them, but it's getting there. It's getting there that those other emotions will jump in, and then you start to feel disappointment. You get caught off guard by trepidation, caught off guard by the listen, don't tell me I can't, caught off guard by that overwhelming feeling. Have you ever had a hard thing to do and it just came with all of these emotions that felt so heavy, and you were like, but God, I know you told me to do this, and if you told me to do this, God, if you told me to do this, God, why the fight? Why the battle? Why am I feeling all these other emotions? Because you know how we are. We like to be like, because God told me to do it, and I'm just going on with God, and sometimes we are there, but sometimes we aren't there. Sometimes every step of the journey feels like you're walking on nails, feels like you're walking on hot coals, and you like, again, let's go all the way back, Sister Carol, and say, God, who picked me? Did you pick me? The pushback. Yeah. And that's a real thing that we don't talk a whole lot about. We get on the other side of it, and then we look back and we can see that God brought us through, and all of those parts and pieces are amazing. But it's the getting there. We forget that the journey is not always what we've made it out to be in our minds. It's not always what we've desired it to be, but it's still the journey, right? Okay, so my encouragement to you today, and this is the whole thing, is I'm encouraging myself, and I hope that this encourages you today. That one, the hard thing is actually hard. Don't let people convince you that, well, you making it out to be so big, it's hard. Okay, let's just go ahead and say it's hard. Hey, praying for you, sweetheart, because you know what one of the hard things is? Grief. It's a hard thing. And if you've ever been there, you've had the moments where you say, God, I don't want to do this no more. I don't even like this. This is not okay. All of those things, okay? But I want to encourage you about the hard thing. You can do hard things, and it is okay for you to be real about the fact that it's hard. It is okay for you to face what you're dealing with. It is okay for you to have all those conflicting emotions, because those conflicting emotions are going to be processed and get you where you need to go. But it's the main thing that you focus on that's really going to get you through it. You can feel all those other things, but let me show you what I'm talking about. Life isn't about easy choices or calm decisions all of the time. And God is aware. And if he were not aware, then the scriptures would not comfort us in the hard things. Okay, I ain't gonna tear up this office because this ain't my office. The scripture comforts us in the hard things. He had Paul, it's okay to not be okay. He had Paul write this for us. He wasn't just talking to the Roman church, he was talking to us. Paul wrote Philippians 4 and 13 and says, I can do all things. That means the hard things, the easy things, the things I didn't know I was going to have to do, the things I don't want to do, the things that got dumped on me, things I didn't pick. I can do all things through Christ. Why? Because he strengthens me. Listen, my encouragement to you is let God strengthen you during the hard thing. Okay? Because that's when we need his strength the most. Mm-hmm. It takes strength to praise through your grief. It takes his strength for you to get out of bed when you don't feel like you got anything to get out of bed for. Baby, it takes his strength to get you through that. And we have to be honest with ourselves and say, God, I need your strength. Yeah, I'm not big, bad, Delon. I can't do all things unless he strengthens me. It's a lot of things I cannot do. I am literally not capable of unless he strengthens me. Hey, Robin, happy new year, girl. Good to see you. We're going to do him with his help. Y'all, that's when we need his strength the most. I was on the phone with Jackie yesterday and we were swapping quotes. Shout out to my niece Joy, to Tootie Toot Toot. I hope she gets to see this because she put something on her page that just encouraged my heart. And to Angel, put something on her page, Miss Angel Dion, that just encouraged my heart. But I was talking to Jackie. I'm bumping stuff. Sorry, y'all. I was talking to Jackie, and she told me about a quote that she saw because she's right now doing a very hard thing. It's hard. Reflecting back on the hard thing is also hard, which has been humbling and reassuring. Yes, learning that my strength is made perfect in weakness. Woo! Peep it. The quote she shared with me was, and I tried y'all to find the author of this quote, but I couldn't. And it said, the water doesn't get warmer the longer you wait to jump in. I said, okay. I couldn't find the author of that quote, but let me give you this other one. Says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Yeah, I know the author of this one. And through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned. I know the author of this one. And the flame shall not consume you. That's in the book. That's Isaiah 43:2. Remember that I asked you, what do you do on the cold day? Well, when I sat down to get my computer set up, that's how I came up with the title. What I was going to put down. The title of today's episode is It's Not About the Temp. Baby, it's not about the temperature. It's about who created the swimmer and who created the water. And when he puts the water, the swimmer, and the temp together, it comes out to be whatever he decided it was going to be. It is where he does his best work, baby. I want to tell you, trust God anyhow. It's not about the temperature. Don't worry about it. Whatever you normally do when things get super cold, it's not about the temperature. Take your focus off the temp and put your focus on the one who made the water, who made the wind and the waves behave. Honey, he can take care of the temp. If he can cause the wind and the water to act right, baby, he can take care of the temperature of that thing. I hope you have enjoyed Freedom Friday. I'm so glad to be back, y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Do me a solid. Share this with somebody. Encourage them to go ahead and do the hard thing. Danielle, go and do the hard thing. Carolyn, go ahead and do the hard thing. Joy, go ahead and do the hard thing. Listen, Karan, Tracy, Robin, Janet, do the hard thing. Jasmine, do the hard thing. Because God says, I will be with you. I love y'all. Have an amazing weekend. I'm out of here. Holla at you, girl. It's not about the temp. Go ahead and do the hard thing.